What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Chicken Bone Alley, brought to you by Earl Ramey Racing Engines, SRI Performance, Profab, headers and exhaust, and stock car steel and aluminum. What is going on, guys? I'm David.
I'm Connor.
Welcome back, sir.
Yep, missed a week. feels like it's been a long time, even though it's 2 weeks, but
Not too long.
Yeah.
Not too long.
guess a lot's happened. Maybe that's why it feels so long.
I think so. You've had a lot going on.
Yep. Started school last Tuesday.
Your last time starting high school.
Yes, sir.
How's it been?
I can't complain. It's been pretty. I mean, it's relaxed. You know, there's some parts that are more work, and some parts it's a little easier than it has been. You know, so I'm enjoying it right now. What about
right.
Landon and Jackson?
Landon's they've been good.
Yeah,
They've been pretty good. Landon actually is sick again today. He's just bad sinus mess, like real bad. Like he can't talk.
Wow.
All that stuff. Jackson, and he's been having fun at school, I guess. It's been going good so far.
Good.
So they've been good. Been good, and all these buses breaking down. And
I'm sure.
Good.
First week of school.
Yeah.
First month.
Yeah, first month is typically about the worst. Why, I don't know, because I say that, but it's not as bad as it used to be, actually, because now buses don't sit over summer like it used to. Like, they run all year long, pretty much. Used to, when they sat all summer long, the first couple...
Everything in the world go wrong.
Horrible. But it ain't too bad now. It ain't too bad. It's cool, man. So, good. So, how you been?
Been all right.
Been making it?
Yep.
Homework ain't killing you
No,
yet?
not yet. Thankfully now, I used to, I get out at 2 and have an elective till 3, but now we get out about 12:30. So even if it is more, I got time to, do it. It don't feel like, I'm not getting done later. I can.
You got all kind of time in the afternoons to do stuff.
Yep, I can knock it out when I get home, and then.
About time to get a job. No, I'm messing with you. Cool. So you didn't race this weekend?
Nope. We thought about it. We actually took the car over there Friday again, try and, mess around with it. It didn't quite, and it was going to be on 2 new tires for the Chargers, and we just didn't feel like we had much of a shot there where we ought to be at least. So we decided to pull the plug and just did some stuff around the house and watched a lot of racing.
So how was the? Wouldn't you like it, obviously, but
no.
But did you learn anything?
Not really.
Not really.
We're getting a motor now. We got that's where we're gonna go. We can't. We've done about all we can on this package, I believe. So we'll move on, I think.
So time for some new stuff under the hood. Well, cool, Connor. Well, we got a guy on here now that he didn't have no issues over there Saturday night. Our buddy Matt Cox. Matt, what's going on, man?
Oh, not a whole lot. How y'all doing tonight?
Man, I ain't complaining none. I ain't complaining. It's hot, but other than that, I'm good.
Yeah, it's been a warm one out there today.
Dude, I tell you, it's been rough. It's been a rough one.
It is brutal.
It is brutally hot. Somebody said something. They were like, "Well, y'all were in the race car Saturday." I was like, "Yeah, but I don't know what it was." I said it wasn't too bad Saturday. I said I felt like we had a breeze. I said, but the day was horrible. I don't know. It's supposed to be hotter tomorrow.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's supposed to be warm. I think it was kind of cooled off Saturday night. And there was a little breeze. That no breeze and that stagnant air is what gets you.
That's right. Well, man, I want first of all I appreciate you coming on here, hanging out with us tonight, man. That's cool as always. And me and Matt have actually gotten to know each other a little more this year. Just been hanging out over there with them guys all summer or all year, it seems like. But man, you've had a great career in racing already anyway, but this year for sure, man, 5 wins on the season at Florence Motor Speedway, that's pretty stout.
Yeah, we've had a good year. We've had some good years in the past, but nothing quite like we've had this year. We've just, for whatever reason, we've just been good kind of week in and week out, and missed it a little bit here and there, but for the most part, we've been pretty steady, and this has probably been one of our more solid years that we've had, especially over the last couple here. We had some good years here at the beach and won a couple, and we had a good year at Florence in gosh, I guess that would have been 2021. I think we won 4. We won the track championship in 21, but nothing quite like we've had this year.
Well, man, I want to, before we get any farther, your name's been out there for a long time around in this area, but for everybody that's not in our area, don't know who you are, I want to give you an opportunity to kind of introduce yourself, tell them who you are, what you drive, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, so we run the NASCAR Wheeling Late Model Stock Florence, 51 Aaron Sales and Lease Chevrolet. We kind of run all around the Southeast a little bit here and there, but most of the time we're at Florence. You can catch us. We'll be at Martinsville coming up, and we'll be at Florence next Wednesday night, and be back at Florence for the 400 coming up in November. Love to have anyone that can come out and check it out to come on out.
Sweet. Well, man, you've been racing a long time though already. When did you get your start?
When I was, probably, I think I was 10, the best I can remember. We started out in Bandoleros, which, they run over at Florence. But we lived in Georgia at the time, and I raced Bandoleros at Atlanta. Ran those for a couple of years, won the Nationals in it. We moved up from there, from the Bandoleros, moved up, ran Legends cars a little bit at Atlanta. And it's a dirt track now. It was Sanoa Raceway that Bubba Pollard owns now. Ran Legend cars there. Then we moved back here to South Carolina, and we ran the Allison Legacy Touring Series when they ran as a support division with the Hooters Pro Cup Series. We ran those, and then we went from the Legacy cars up to the Super Trucks, and then from the Super Trucks to the late models, and been running late models since about 2008, I think. So been in the late models for going on about 15 years now, running the late model.
Phew. Feel like a lifetime there.
It is.
Man, you did a lot of racing down at the beach, down at Myrtle Beach. Moving up here to Florence, and it's like you kept at it, and obviously running good. I mean, apparently, but you figured it out, man. I've heard people talk about a resemblance of Myrtle Beach being at Florence Motor Speedway. I don't. Just looking at it, I'm like, I don't see it. Is there one to you?
Yeah, I mean the way you drive it isn't much like the beach. I guess the only resemblance it does have kind of around this area, around the Southeast, is kind of the tire fall off and the tire wears. I don't think it's as bad as the beach was. But it is, it is bad on tires. So you do have to take care of your stuff and make it last. We've always raced at the beach and kind of been in this area for a long time, but I'd actually never been to Florence Motor Speedway. I went and watched one race one time over there, but I'd never been there or actually turned a lap around it till Steve took it over, and we come out there and ran that first Cars Tour race he had. And just funny story behind that. I'd never seen the place, and which you're familiar, Robert Edit raced there a lot back in the day and won a bunch of races there. And we got there, and he got me. We got in his truck. He got me in his truck, and he said, "Here, come on. I want a bunch here." He said, "I'm going to take you around. I'm going to show you the line. This is where you got to be, and this is what you got to do." And I kind of just followed it, and kind of did that a little bit, and it's just worked out to me ever since. We talked about it the other day. I said, and still what you told me to do, get through 3 and 4, I still do that today. And that thing rolls right through there, like you said it would.
All right, Connor, we're going to have to jump in the truck with Matt. Apparently. You'll take us around
You'll
there.
notice everybody behind him's up in the top groove, running, 3 lanes up, and he's always right around the bottom, wearing them out.
Is that key? Is that the key, Matt?
What's that? Well, I mean, I've ran the top of Florence before myself, and I definitely think there's some speed up there. At the top, I just think that in order in order to win the big races there, I think you got to be able to run right around the bottom to take care of your tires. Some people run the top, but myself, I feel like the top's a little bit of kind of a crutch at Florence, just to you probably aren't as good as you need to be if you can't run the bottom, so you kind of have to move up the racetrack to make it work. I definitely think if you can run the bottom, you'll be a lot better off.
For sure, I believe that too. Yeah. I believe if you can get it pointed and going, it's got to be faster down there. Well, cool, man. Well, let's talk about this year a little bit. I mean, you have man, about every night over there, you've been battling for the lead. I mean, you've been battling for wins every night. I mean, what can you attest to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just we got a good baseline set up. Chad McCovey's done a good job with us on giving us, a good car, what we need to run up front with every week. And we got really good equipment and, good people behind us. And, I think it's just a, preparation week in and week out. Just these things have gotten so sensitive that if you're off just a tiny bit, it's a big difference on the racetrack, and just, going through it every week and making sure we're exactly where we need to be and everything's exactly where it needs to be, and everything's perfect. And it's definitely not easy at Florence. It's got a tough field every week. There's been 16 cars, 17 cars, some weeks in the 20s. Cody, Casey Kelly, I mean, they're both a heck of a race car driver, and have to race against them every week. And Doug Barnes has been down here, and there's others that have been down here that are, they're as good as anyone, in the Southeast when it comes to a late model stock, and you have to race against them, week in and week out. And, I think it just racing against that competition every week definitely makes you better as well.
For sure, man, for sure. Doug Barnes has really been chasing the national points this year, and coming down here and wanting to, that's why he's been here, driving as far as he has to.
Yeah, he passes a lot of racetracks.
Passes a whole lot of racetracks to come down to Florence Motor Speedway to, and it's not that he's cherry picking either, because he knows when he goes there, he's got to run against Matt. Yeah. he's got to beat him a lot of nights. Have you ever thought about now, anyway, does the national points look good to you? I mean, does that look like something you'd want to do now?
It's a hard decision to make. They don't. It's, we to be honest, we looked into it about, probably 1st of June. We stacked up some wins, and we had good full car counts at Florence, and we kind of sat down and we weighed our options out. That we decided, hey, if we're going to maybe try to do this and it's something we want to do, then we got to get prepared, and we're going to have to just make a schedule out, and you're going to have to race every single weekend somewhere. Right. And just commit to it. And I don't think that was something we were quite ready to do. And we had a good year going, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to do that, and you have to have a lot of people to go with you and be behind you. And we certainly have people behind us, but just don't think it's something we're quite ready for yet. You got to have some full-time people in the shop, and just weren't something we were prepared for. But it could be something in the future. It all, it just basically works out. How your year starts out. Just like Connor Hall up at Langley.
That's right.
You really didn't think about him being a national champion threat, and he was running the Cars Tour, and next thing you know, he's won 10 races at his local track, and he's right there in the mix of it.
That's you're dead on. You're dead on. That points deal is crazy to me. By the end of the season, it's like, just like you said, nobody's thinking about it, and you're not really paying attention to this guy. You're seeing this one guy run somewhere, and you're not really paying attention to this other one, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, where'd he come from?
I thought Doug had it locked up.
Yeah.
And then
and that's crazy. But man, I will tell you, and I'm not just trying to blow your head up or nothing. I think you got what it would take. I mean, I know you got to have guys to do it and be able to get on the road and go, but man, seeing what you do against all the national touring guys, I guess we'll say, when they come in and all that stuff, man, I think you'd have just as good a chance as anybody for running for something like that. But talking about when the national guys come in, that's just like the 400 last year, man. You were in contention almost the whole race up to the last little bit there, and it, man, looked good, and obviously couldn't finish it out, unfortunately. But when you're running like that, you know, does that just give you a little confidence boost that you know you can get up there and run with them guys? I mean, because obviously you can.
Yeah, I mean, it does give you a confidence boost, and you know, I certainly feel like right now, you know, there's going to be a bunch of good cars Wednesday night at Florence, and or next Wednesday night, you know, and I certainly feel like right now, you know, I feel like we can run with anybody that comes to Florence that, you know, comes next Wednesday. I feel like, you know, we can run with anyone that shows up, and you know, there'll be some good cars, and you know, I'm not saying we can go out there and dominate it and outrun them, but you know, I certainly feel like we can, you know, we can run with anyone that comes there, and you know, there'll be some other good cars around here. I mean, Cody will be really good. I'm sure Butterbean will be really good. Sam will be good. But yeah, I mean, it is a good confidence booster. You know, when you roll in there and you got, you know, like 400, you know, you'll have 50 cars trying to make the race, and you know, you can run up front all night long. You make the show and qualify up front. You run up front all night. You know, it is a good confidence booster, and you know, I think the biggest thing is it just kind of shows, you know, what kind of program we have, you know, with Chad and everyone else, you know, just being able to kind of stay on top week in and week out.
Talk about Chad a little bit there. You know, being he's, you know, helps y'all out the way he does. It was really funny, and I actually picked with Chad about this a few times. I seen him a picture. This has probably been a few years ago now, back when we were about I don't know, 10, 11, 12 years old. Me and Chad raced go-karts together, and I had a picture of the South Carolina dirt points. And I was fourth, Chad was fifth. Ooh. I said, "See, I'm not that bad." Just picking with him, but man, the stuff that he's went on and done made it, you know, all the way up to the cup level, and he's so hands on with everything. I mean, you know, obviously still driving the car in the Cars Tour like he is now. You, him, Sam seem to put y'all's heads together, and y'all come up with some of the fastest cars out there. I mean, it just seems to happen that way.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, a lot of that credit goes to him. You know, he's very good. Sam's very good. You know, and it all starts. You know, Robert gives us everything we need to try to run competitively and run the best we can for all of us. And you know, Chad's really, really smart on these cars. You know, and he's probably smarter than he gets credit for sometimes. On these things, and you know, he knows them like the back of his hand, and he, you know, we've always, you know, I've kind of been racing under, you know, his kind of guidance and setups and things like that since 2015 now, and you know, I've always had good competitive race cars about every week, and most of the time everywhere we went, we've been pretty competitive.
That's definitely so, man. Definitely so. Well, did I hadn't looked. Did the win this past Saturday lock you up for the points championships at Florence this year?
Yeah, it wrapped up it locked up the track championship.
Okay.
Awesome. And you know how it is. The NASCAR points fluctuate so much.
Yeah.
You know, I think it locked up the championship also, but you know, that could change a little bit. But I think it locked up the state championship also.
Awesome, man. Very deserving. Y'all worked y'all's tail off for it, for that track championship, state championship. Y'all have done just such a good job. Week in, week out, because as everybody knows, I mean, that is late model stocks. I think the health of late model stocks has really upped itself here in the past couple of years. Revitalized big time. And, you know, when you can say you won a South Carolina late model stock championship, if you know, that's awesome. That is so good job, man. That is happy for you, buddy.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. And, you know, I hate it. We won the track championship there at Florence the first year Steve had it in 21, and we finished second last year. We were off a little bit and had some good runs, but Just missed it a little bit a couple nights and had some bad finishes, and it cost us. We finished second last year, so it was a good deal to come back and win it this year and be able to grab 2 of the 3 years we've been over there to lock up the track championship. It was a pretty big deal for us.
Sweet. Cool, man. Well, we know we got the Locked In 200 coming up next Wednesday night, Florence Motor Speedway. How do you look at that, a race like that? It was going to be a little bit longer race than what you're normally running on Saturday night over there. But even going into the 400 over there, how do you look at those races as opposed to a regular Saturday night race when you got such a good bit longer race?
Well, it's somewhat the same. We have your strategy might be a little bit different, like this Wednesday night, and then when the 400. I think Wednesday night, we run 97 laps, and then we get a break for fuel, and we get 2 new tires at the 97 lap mark for the last 53. So, the biggest thing, you got to run 2 of your tires, you got to run the whole race on. So, I think the first 97 laps, you'll just kind of be taking care of your stuff and riding. There to the end, you gotta put yourself in a pretty good position there at the break, so you're not, stuck way back in traffic. Because, I really think the way I see it, the last 53 laps is about like a regular Saturday night race over there. We bolt 2 new rights on or whatever you end up doing with them, and you go racing for 53 laps, and that's what it is. Definitely got to take care of yourself a little bit more than you normally do, but. We've been pretty good in the longer races there. We were running third last year when we got spun, and the year before that we were 3 or 4 to go. We were battling for the lead outside of second and got turned around getting into 3 with like 2 or 3 to go. So, we've kind of been there at the end, in the top 5 each year in the 400, and I think they were 150 or 200 laps. So, I think we'll be okay. We've had a really good race car on long runs, so. Just got to try to take care of it and stay out of trouble. The biggest thing is everybody, you ride around, so you sit there and pack race pretty much for 97 laps, and you just hope no one makes a mistake and hope you keep yourself in a good position where you don't get tore up.
That's right. That is right for sure. Well, cool, man. Well, buddy, we will definitely be over there cheering you on. I am I will. I'll probably be down there standing in your pit watching. So But best of luck to you in that. Who all do you want to thank for all the help?
Yeah, all our guys come, week in, week out. We got Matt and Terry, my brother Tony, Jamie Curtis, Doc's usually there with us, Jamie Godwin. We got, Aaron Sells and Lease, Robert Elliott Engines, Heritage Transportation, Risk Management, Renegade Fuels, Elliott Properties. A lot of people that helps us out and makes these things happen. And, you can't thank all them enough for, allowing us and being there to help us so we can go do what we love.
Oh, cool, man. Well, man, like I said, best of luck next week at the Locked In 200 there. We'll be there pulling you on or cheering you on. But we appreciate you jumping on with us tonight, buddy.
All right. Yeah. Thank y'all.
Thank you, man. All right, everybody. Mr. Matt Cox coming to hang out with us tonight here on Chicken Bone Alley. Cool. He, I think he's gonna be.
He's gonna be one to beat.
He's gonna be one to beat. He always is. Oh yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. Bolting on 2 new tires for the last 53. That's 53 laps around Florence. You can't. That's not really a sprint. If you go hard for those first 30 laps, you probably will be used up.
Yeah, and that's what's so crazy is you look at it the first 97. I know I would anyway. It's like, all right, we're most of the way done with this race. I can go. No, you still got to hold back. Still got to conserve anyway. Well, you got to manage your tires.
Oh yeah.
Which is
you burn them up, they're gone.
I promise you they are. Yeah, everybody, as we were just talking about, Locked In 200 next. That will be Wednesday night, August the 30th at Florence Motor Speedway. If you can't be there, we'll be on Flow Racing, but do come out if you can. If you're in the area, it will be a good race. I think we're gonna try to race. I think
we might be too in the Legends.
I think we're gonna run some Legend cars.
That'd be
night.
cool. Nothing else. We'll have a place to watch in the infield.
Exactly. We'll be standing there watching. We'll be standing there if nothing else. So
that'll be good.
I don't know. I'm kind of wondering how many's gonna show up for the Legend stuff. I feel like it could be a lot. I feel like it. I don't know.
I didn't think there was going to be that many for the 400, and then you saw, every Legend car in the Southeast was there. So
plus,
I don't know. For a midweek, on most of your weekly classes wouldn't be a good idea, but I feel like Legends race midweek all summer and several times throughout the year. So I think it's got the potential for it to be a pretty big field.
It does. It does for sure. It was and we were down you and Dennis and Rafe and Barry and all this past weekend. I think we still had a 12.
Yeah,
I think so.
15 is no problem over there.
No, 15's easy. But real quick, want to go ahead and get this in. Want to thank our partners over at Earl Ramey Racing Engines, guys. You need some horsepower under your hood. Go talk to our good friend Earl Ramey today. Get it all loaded up under that hood. I don't care if you're running asphalt late models, dirt late models, modifieds, anything in between. Guys, head over to Earl Ramey Racing Engines, some of the best in the business. His crate program is second to none. So, guys, head over to Earl Ramey Racing Engines. Get yourself some horsepower today. Get on that chassis that I know he's got and get it all set up there. Find all the horsepower you can. That's where it's really gained at. Really learned where you gain and lose horsepower at.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them things he's going to tell you that you need on it is some good profab headers. Profab headers and exhaust, guys. They are quality that wins. You will need to. You got to get you some. That's flat out it. You got to get you some. Connor's got crate motors, built motors in his car. He's going to have to get him some. Head over to Profab Headers and Exhaust, guys. Like I said, their slogan is quality that wins. That's because they are. You walk in that shop. I've been fortunate enough to have a couple tours around there. We did one if you look back on our Facebook page about a year ago now. You won't scroll back that far. You can see a tour through the Profab shop. From where they start to where they finish, it's a cool process that they have, bringing raw metal. flat sheets of metal to pipe.
That's crazy.
It's insane. So y'all get y'all some Profab headers and exhausts because they are second to none. Promise you. All right. So we talked about a little bit about legend cars a little bit.
Yep.
And our good friend Dennis Brown,
Lightning McGregor.
He said he's got some stuff to talk about. Let's see if we can let me see if I can get him on the phone here, and we're going to talk about it. Because we got some stuff, and we're probably going to hurt some feelings. We may just hurt some feelings.
I didn't know it was going to be this kind of talk.
Well, you never know around here. Let's see if we can get him on the phone here. Call him up. All right. We got Mr. Dennis Brown here on the line with us, owner of the of that red 12 car, legend car I've been driving, owner of the number 18 legend car that Connor drives, and a pile more of them.
The 28 of Barry's, the 34 of Ray's, the 95 of mine, the 11 of Lizzie's.
Exactly. Super owner there. That's what we call him.
He's like
Rick Hendricks of the legend car.
I was just about to say that.
I was more like Jack Rouse. Jack Rouse had more cars.
That's right. He did have like 5 cars at one time. Yeah, under Jack Rouse, then I'll take that. I wish I had half his money. I would be better off.
Don't we all? You just gonna need to start wearing a hat.
Yeah, that's what I need to do. Get some signature move in there or something.
All right.
The question I was going to ask you, Stefan, what happened to your car Saturday night?
Well, let me tell you, because we hadn't got into this on the show. We've had fault internet issues and hadn't even got into it. So what happened was, and I don't know if this didn't happen at the end of the race last time we were out there, actually, because it had a similar feeling when you were behind me, actually, and we went in the corner, and you remember it shooting up the track, went all crazy. Well, all day Saturday, it was kind of doing something similar. It just was very unpredictable going in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kind of just did our normal adjustments on it, what we would do to try to fix, it was a tight condition. It was constantly tight. I was like, why is this thing just getting tight? Didn't really understand. So, well, we had, you know how that is, limited practice anyway. We got one round of practice and the next round is qualifying. So we changed something after the first round of practice, went into qualifying, and all of a sudden I go in the corner, it kind of does the same thing, but it just starts hopping like off the right rear. It just felt like it was just jumping. And I said, something isn't right. I said, it's not necessarily set up. I said, set up might not be there, but something isn't right. So we start looking and pulling. We took off. I took off. I said, maybe it's in the right rear shock because that's where it felt like it was more happening at. So I put off the right rear shock, and I kind of, test as best as we can at the track. Take one that we know is, off the car, and then kind of press that one too, and just kind of compare. And it felt fine. Well, we took off the left rear, and you could push it in with a couple fingers, and it kind of come back out. So
yeah, I heard there was a shock issue and stuff that you had on that.
Yep.
But then you got into racing, man. You went flying in the race. I thought I was looking at your times on Race Monitor, and you took off.
Well, we did kind of, but the problem was we had adjusted all day to a tight condition, and I think changing that shock it may have kind of just fixed our tight condition without our adjustments, and that car was so loose. I turned right the entire race. I was scared to touch the gas.
I scaled my car today. Barry did. I've been gone for 2 weeks and stuff with my mom and all, but I just scaled my car today. I had 6 pounds of bite in the back of the car.
Wow.
Yeah, we had moved the tire on the right side.
Yeah.
And I was trying to, because it was tight in the first practice, but then when I got out to the second practice, it was loose. So I tightened it up some, and then it was really loose during the race. I come back and looked at it, and when the fuel burned off, 6 pounds of bite.
Yeah, well, as much as we adjusted, I probably got, something like that. I mean,
negative bite.
Probably so. Because I went in the corner every corner Saturday. I could not run the low line because I couldn't stay there, so I just stayed high.
Turn the wheel.
No, I couldn't turn the wheel. I just stayed high and just rode the top the whole time. And
man, it works that way sometimes, don't it?
It does, but it wasn't fast. It wasn't real fast back there compared to everybody else.
You took off running some like threes.
Yeah,
and I said, I said, you're right here. I said, he's right there at it. And I seen you move up a position or something like that, or might have been 1 or 2. And then Liz, you were right behind Lizzie and stuff. And I seen her kind of running some 2s, and then she ran like an 18 one lap there, and like a 20.18.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you started going to like 5s. You had like a couple laps like that, and it was 6s and 7s and 8s. I said, what in the world?
Yeah, it became a handful.
I'm sure tires got hot. And it probably
we come in and the right rear was, it was about smoking, and the right front, it didn't feel like it had been on the track.
I bet so.
So it was, it's one of them things where you just is what it is that day. Unfortunately.
I understand that. We've all been there and done that.
Unfortunately. But so in saying all of that, what we still want to say is and we want to talk with Dennis about this. We've talked about it on here. And Dennis was very adamant about this Saturday. You talked about Lizzie getting up there running 20s and teens, 20.1 something and 20.2 something.
Turn 18.
Yeah, and so, but our issue is still with the Legend cars is I think she would probably be 3/10 faster than that if we could get tires, and we can't get them.
That's right. And it seems like it's been, AK. Look, I know they make a living in their world and stuff like that. I'm not begrudging that one iota because I make a living in the asphalt world and grading and paving and that kind of stuff, and that's how I make my living and stuff on it. And everybody has a job to do and stuff on it, and everybody, I got connections with the asphalt plants and rock plants and utility companies. I mean, utility suppliers and stuff on it. So I mean, everybody kind of makes their deal through life and stuff on it. It's really aggravating on our side of the fence when every time you go to Florence, we never on equal footing because AK always pulls a tire out of the rack somewhere, and they always practice here and race there, and what I mean by practice here, they practice at one speed, which was pretty achievable for us, and then they race at another speed that's just it's just not in our zip code.
That's right,
and it's frustrating on our side of the fence, and I don't know the answer to the thing on what to wake people up to say, guys, we got to get some tires. You hear stories that there are warehouses full up in Charlotte and stuff, and I think it's as far as Steve is concerned, he should be raising all kind of sand if he could to get tires for his track. He's an INX sanctioned track. That race should be just as important as the national, maybe not the national races, but maybe the shootouts and stuff that they do, because it's just a race. It's all the shootout is.
That's right.
It's just a race. It's just to create points for these guys to kind of move on down the line. And I mean, if I was Steve, I would be raising sand by that. But it's not fair when and I'm not. Listen, I'm not trying to beat on AK because, like I said, they make a living at this stuff, and I really want to stay away from that part of it. But it's just not fair when they always have better tires than us, and we found out quickly that I thought it was our setups for a long time. We were trying and throwing everything at it, and I actually wrecked my car in a race when I first got a brand new set of tires from the tires gripping too much that I wasn't so used to it. We've been running for 2 years on used tires and wore-out tires and stuff, and then here I am wrecking because I had brand new tires, and I said, "Oh my God, I didn't even know what happened." So I mean, there's somebody has to wake up, and I would think Steve would be the starting point at it, and I don't know how to make his attention to understand our plight on thing, and maybe he doesn't care. I hope he does. But I mean, we bring. I mean, most of the time we're having 15, 18, 20 cars at the track, and it's not just us. I mean, we bring in 6 or 7 cars at it. We're counting Matucci there.
That's right.
We're bringing 7 cars to the track, in our group. And so when you're having 7 cars come to the track and stuff on it, and one thing, I would think you'd listen a little bit to them and try to help them. They don't have to bend over because I don't make a living at this. It's fun. This is our fun. This is our golf game. This is our fishing habit. This is whatever you want to call it, stuff on it. But I just wanted to be, when we get on the track, I just want us to get a fair shake. I don't care if we run, a car tire, just a regular that you can buy off the shelf car tire. I don't care what we run, as long as everybody's on that same tire. Then it would make a world of difference for us.
You're exactly right. I have said many times, in my opinion, and I'm going to push it back to INEX. If INEX is the issue, tracks need to, and from what I hear, it's not just Florence Motor Speedway. It's a couple other tracks, especially around this area. And
you're right. We bought a lot of stuff from Go Motorsports, and Go Motorsports said they say the same thing. They said, "My God, we ain't seen tires up here in forever." So
yeah,
I agree. And they race up in the Northeast, I think.
That's right. And I will say, and I'm not dogging on any of them because we've had Kendall Sellers on here. I like Kendall. Kendall's a real nice guy. He is a great guy.
Him and his daddy are just good people.
Yeah.
They're good people, and I don't, like I say, he makes a living at this stuff. I don't, I get it, and I want him to have. He needs to have special things for special races. But when he races with us, he just needs to bring, I don't know, maybe those kids are running for points and we're not. I don't really care about points on my side of the fence stuff when I'm not racing for that kind of stuff. But man, it's frustrating when you can't get to them. And can he? I go to Dillon and win the races, and I come to Florence and I run 10th. And because our tires are just that much more out, and in Dillon we seem to have more equal tires amongst the group.
That's right.
mean, even the guys that come from Charlotte and all the other places, they seem to have pretty close to the same tires we have.
Well, the problem is right now, and I will tell anybody with INEX, this is the issue. If you are not associated or affiliated with I guess we call them a setup shop, one of the driver developments or setup shops, the Joe Ryans, the AK Performance, we'll throw them in there. I don't know, there's a pile of other
hundreds of them.
860. 860 had 2 cars at Florence Saturday night. If you're not affiliated with them or associated with them in some way, it's like you get put on the back burner, and especially with the tires, and you're not going to see any. And I know they may not even be seeing a lot of them, or as many as they want to see, but they're seeing way more than we are.
Yeah,
that's the point. That's right.
Exactly. I'm not asking for just unlimited tires, but if we can get 2 here and there, I mean, fine, whatever. Yeah. But if not, I'm like you, Dennis. If INEX can't supply them to everybody there, we need another option. And what's crazy about it is Hoosier sells a tire just on the 4-cylinder cars. It's the exact same tire, essentially. Slightly. I think it's slightly taller.
800 tire.
Yeah,
you just can't get that.
Yeah, it's a grippier tire.
They had 2. Every one of 4-cylinders could get 2 of them at Florence the other night.
Yeah, I mean, but for a while, I guess you could.
Right, you couldn't get them, but I've seen them all of a sudden come back. You can go online and you can find them now all of a sudden. But I don't know this. I'm not in the midst of it all the time. But like Dennis said, I have been told supply should not be an issue right now. Everybody should be able to get a set of tires. But it's just not happening. It's just not happening, and I blame INEX. I honestly do. I blame INEX 100%. I hope somebody hears this and gets it to them. Because in my opinion, if you can't provide it for all, don't provide it to any.
Exactly.
Wait till you got a good supply that you can provide to all. Limit the amount of tires you sell to certain people. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know what the answer is, but I know what the problem is, and I know how it looks from the outside. Yeah. Looks horrible.
I'm with you. Well, look, I'm in the supply. I'm not in the supply business, but I buy a lot of material from different suppliers and stuff on it. We used to have on concrete pipe. There used to be in Charleston here, there used to be like a 40-week. They were telling you it'd take you 40 weeks to get pipe on a job. And that's almost unheard of, and it slowed a lot of things down around here for a long time. Well, now they get to where there's maybe 10 weeks, 8 to 10 weeks on delivering pipe. Ductile iron pipe used to be very difficult to get, and I know we're not talking anything about racing, but I'm just trying to set up that the supply chain was very tight, and I got it because I got it on 10 other areas here that I'm having to deal with. Tires for big trucks. We've got 12 big trucks and stuff, and I mean tires for those we were by 50 at a time, but he would send us 10 or 12 or 15 whenever he could find the tires. He would send them to us and stuff to fill out the 50 tire deal. So I understood it was a problem, but now there's no problem. I don't have any problem getting ductile iron pipe, plastic pipe. I mean, within reason, everything is a month and a half, 6 to 8 weeks out, I should say. Well, if you could tell me I could get a set of tires in 6 to 8 weeks, and I could get another set of tires in another 6 to 8 weeks, and another set of tires in another 6 to 8 weeks, I'm happy with all that. I think that's perfect. I think But I'll tell you, Florence chews up tires 10 times more than Dylan does.
That's right.
And I'm almost at the point where Florence, if Steve can't push him, because he's an INEX sanctioned track, to get tires at that track, to get us more of an equal footing with other people at that track, then, I don't know if we need to keep going back there. I think we need to go to, Ron up there does a great job. They're fun. It's a good environment. And I might be prejudiced a little bit because I tend to win up there, sometimes.
When Connor lets you.
Yeah, that's right. When Connor allows me to win.
That's right.
Or Jamie, Jamie was a big winner up there for a long time. He took several wins from me.
That's right.
Yeah, this would be his daddy. But those are the kind of things. It's just a booger. Ron for a long time even said, look, you can't get, INEX tires. You can't get Legend tires. And he talked about he said, what about this tire? What about that tire? I said, Ron, I don't care as long as you mandate it and everybody's got to be on the equal footing. I'm going to run the same tire that guy down the street's going to run, and no matter where they come from, they could come from New York, but they're going to run the same tire that I'm on. Well, then it gets down to setup and driving ability.
That's right.
At that point, and that's what racing should be about, is my setup versus your setup and my driving ability versus your driving ability. That's what it should be.
You're exactly right. And that was a problem I fought last weekend, not this past weekend, but the weekend, the last race over at Florence.
That's right.
It was, we fought the car, and then come to find out we start swapping some tires around. I just got a tire that is just heat cycled out, yeah. I guess we say.
That's exactly right. And see, I don't have the greatest feel for that. I swapped some tires today on my car on the right side tires that were just, I was really looking at my rear tires and stuff on them, and they were really gone. They had no signs of any life back in they had tread on them still, but they have no sign of life. They must be heat cycled out as well, because I had kind of screwed myself by the way I moved it around and took the bite out of the car. And so that's half my fault. I would say it. The other half is just tires are just gone. But you can have a single tire to go out and the car will push like the devil. And here you adjusting, and it ain't gonna never get out of the car because the tire's just gone. But it's still got tread on it, so it doesn't look like it's wore out.
Exactly. And my problem is with it. If anybody wants to get into the money side of it, we're not spending any less than anybody else is to get to the racetrack to run a Legend car. Now, the maintenance on it might not be quite as much sometimes, but there's a lot of times it is. But we're not spending any less. At least say like Charger cars. This week they were on a 2 new deal, which I don't particularly prefer for the Chargers, but I would rather the scuff tires. There's a program, you got to buy tires every week, but they're scuff tires. Everybody is lucky to draw. You draw a set of tires. They got stacks of tires. They're numbered. You draw a number, and that's how you get tires. It's like, I don't know. Like I said again, I don't know how to solve it, but I would much rather. I'd rather be on a scuff tire deal where we can possibly get a decent set of tires sometimes than be on the deal that we're just out of tires, just out. So it's just.
Well, I think the frustrating part. I'm with you 1,000%. Everything you're saying here, and the frustrating part is that if Florence is going to eat up tires that bad, then I just maybe think that if we were just throwing tires away there because we can't never compete with them, and when you do look when that 95 car that I have now and stuff, when I first got a set of tires and stuff on it, I went from running 10th and 11th up there with them to running into top 4 or 5.
That's
them. Right. Just and I could contribute to nothing else but that, but just pure tires. It's a 0.3 difference in speed. And you look at them guys. They qualified the other day. Their first practice, they were out there at 20 flat, pretty much and stuff. And they put tires on and they go right out there to 19.6s, 19.7s, and so that's nothing but tires. They didn't do anything to the car. Maybe a quarter turn here and a quarter turn there, but that was about it. You could go out there and run that kind of speed.
You're dead on. Dead on.
So I don't know I reckon what I'm saying is I don't know the answer, but Steve really needs to to try to help to keep. He's got to be selfish a little bit about his track, and until he is self. Now I know Kendall and him are good friends, and I think they help each other out, which is great. I think racing needs to be. Look, I help a bunch of people out and stuff and things, and that's what racing is, the fun part. And none of us are. Very few of us are going to make a living at this thing, at racing and stuff. So I get it. I understand the fun part of it, and we need to help a lot of people out. And it's fun for all of us. It's our adrenaline rush, and again, it's our golf game and all that. That's right. However you want to put it. But at the same time, he has to get us a chance just to go have a chance to run with the next, Dale Hart Jr. or Kevin Harvick or whatever, just give us a chance to run with them and say, okay, that's what they're teaching them. I understand this. They're great racers, and say, hey, back in the day, I outran Keelan or I outran whoever. Just pick guys' names.
That's right.
So and it's fun. That would be just a fun thing to put into treasure case there. So, and that's all we're after, and it's just equal footing on tires. But man, they come there. They may not have brand new tires. But I guarantee they ain't been no more than a race or two on those tires when they come there. And when you've got 10 races at Florence, I had a set of tires for Florence and had a set of tires for Dillon. My set of tires at Dillon still look like they got plenty of life left in them. My tires at Florence are done, and we've got almost about the same amount of races. Almost. There's probably a few more races on the Florence tires than Dillon tires, but it's almost about the same amount of races.
That's right. Oh, well, and that's one thing that Florence somewhat prides themselves on, and I understand it. Florence does chew up tires. They talk about that for the big late model races and stuff like that. Chews up tires. I mean, that's just typical for our region. Darlington was the same way, or is the same way. And so
it makes for great racing when everybody starts off on that same footer.
Exactly.
And you got to take care of some tires over a period of time. I agree.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was getting at. So yeah, we got to do something. I like you said, I hope maybe Steve and Kendall can get together on something like that. Maybe they hear this. Yep. We'll send it to them. I don't care.
I mean, they're supposed to be. I know I talked to Drew Brown up in Anderson, and he's supposed to be. I think they've had a conversation to where they don't mind letting down here because Drew doesn't come down here that much, and he doesn't. I reckon he doesn't really. He probably cares to come down here, or maybe he doesn't care to come down. I'm not sure about that, but if they got the lower part of the state and there's two tracks right there together, and I mean there are 15 cars showing up every weekend at both tracks, legend cars I'm talking about, showing up at the race. So why can't somebody just make a little common sense here, and they ain't got to give us tires every week. I'm not asking for that, but Lord knows we need a set of tires about every 3 or 4 months. Well, so we need a set of tires.
You're right. I was told from some sources that Legend Car tires are good for 6 races, and that's all. They say they are essentially heat cycled out. You will fall off big time after 6 races.
I tend to agree with that. Yeah. I think every race that we have, when I look at, sometimes the tracks are a little hotter than other times, and you just. Because, I mean, we have literally, this is no joke. I remember up at Dillon, we went there on a Thursday and practiced one time. And we were running some, like, 18.6s and 18s, in 18.5s, something like that. And, man, just thought we were killing it and stuff on it. And came right back on a Saturday, just 2 days later and stuff, and ran, like, 20.2s or something. I mean, not 20. We were 19.2s at that.
That's right.
And I'm saying, how in the world did we lose 6/10 here? And we've done nothing to the car, but just roll it back out, check the air pressure, and get on the track, and it's that much different. Yep. And I mean, so that track it changes a ton, and I know from heat to coolness, tracks tend to tighten up and tend to get more grip and stuff in them, which is great. But it's not. It's all about the tire thing. If you don't have a good tire to start off with, you're just not going to end up with it. So,
that's right. That is right.
So I'm with you on that. I'm with you on this, brother. We got to do something, and we got to kind of make our voices kind of be heard here a little bit. I mean, I can't count to you the amount of tracks that are throughout the nation that are all of them in the legend world Barry tells me that he reads that what's the Legends Facebook page?
Legends.
Just Legends, yeah. He reads that, and he hears out west and stuff that they haven't been able to race because they've got nothing. They don't really have a tire. And I don't know why somebody had to come up with an alternative for them, to race out there or something. But he said they haven't had tires. So I think they got a load of tires this year, but they haven't had the tires out there in a long time.
Well, supposedly that is the whole reason. One of the whole reasons the Legends were huge in Texas. They shut down every Legend race that they had in Texas, and that is the whole reason about 2 years ago, because they said they couldn't get tires in, and
nobody wants to race on.
Yeah, they were tired of racing on old tires, so they just quit. And that's what stinks about it is Legends to me seems to be in this big revival right now. That I mean, it's kind of come back, and because it did. Me and Connor talked about this other week. Legends wasn't a huge thing around here, but it was like it wasn't a touring thing, but it was like a touring thing. It was like a special race that come around years ago when Legend cars raced. And, well, now it about 4 years ago now, all of a sudden it started really trickling back in. Well, now it's just in this huge upswing right now. I mean, you got the setup shops.
Like I said, there's 15-plus cars coming to every track. Sometimes there's 22, 24, 28.
Exactly.
I mean, my God, during the Bash, we had, 34 cars running the Bash?
That's right.
Up at Dillon. That was unbelievable. I just thought we'd have had 10 more wrecks than what we had, but we only had 2. And they were single-car incidents.
That's right. And then I remember Florence, a couple races at the first of the year, they had to run some B mains.
Oh, yeah.
Because there were so many cars, which is great. Yeah. That's a great problem. But the problem, the problem then comes in, if everybody can't be somewhat equal or feel like they're on an equal playing field, then you get what you got now. You go from 30 cars down to the 15. And 15 is still a good number. But when you had 30, well, where'd the rest of the guys go? Yeah. Because all these tracks around here are still running about 15 cars. So
how much does it cost for a charger? When y'all go to the track for a charger, how much does it cost for your entry fee? Is it the same as the Legend?
Yeah. I mean, you just get in the track the same far
as $30-$40 to get in the track, and then when you get in there, there's no more fee for you. Other than tires.
That's what I was going to say. Tires and fuel.
Yeah, which is a fee in itself.
Yeah, that is the love-hate thing right now with Florence Motor Speedway. I appreciate the fact, I guess, that they're trying something, and with the two, they're the first year we started on all scuffs and the Chargers. What did it cost when you ran all scuffs, Connor?
There was a joke around there for a while that they were pulling the scuffs out on that back there in the woods and stuff, but they were pulling scuffs out to use them because that's what some people got as tires,
I don't know.
We were laughing about that sometimes, but
I don't know that was a joke.
They didn't do that.
This year happened bad, thankfully.
I don't know. There was a joke, did it? No, I'm just speaking.
2021 was rough.
Yeah.
The last 2 years have been better.
Yeah, and so...
A lot better.
But I don't know. I think I'm going to use Dillon, for example. Dillon, when we go over there, cost us right about... I think I figured it up. Tires and fuel, I think, was right about $200. That's about all it was. Now, Florence, when we ran the 2 new and then get 10 gallons fuel on top of that, I think it were looking more around $600.
Wow. I hear $600 to $800. $1,200-$1,500 is what most people talk about running, a car for a weekend, or a big car. Not because you got to buy tires, stuff like that. And that may be more late models than they are, charger cars and stuff. But
yeah.
Wow.
So.
Well, I just we could talk about other branches a lot, but that's their problems and what they need to do. I tell you, we deal in the Legend world, and it's been frustrating to go to Florence. Like I said, we can go to Dillon, and it seems like everybody seems to be on pretty much the same footer. I've had guys, that B1 came in, and they seem to be on the same tires we were on. They can't get tires, and they come from Carteret. We've had what's that Brown, Zach Brown come
Zach
down
Brown.
and yeah, I think he talks about he takes care of his tires a little better than what we do, but I don't know if he was able, because he owns the track or runs the track, that they were able to get a few more tires, but I don't know that. But he seems to have not brand new tires, but they seem to have several races on them when they get here. So they're kind of in the same boat we're in. I would think.
Well, I think the difference is Florence. They're running, not only for track points, but you're also running for INEX points.
Yeah.
When you're running there under, if you have your INEX license. So those, the ones that we're competing against and talking about, they're running for INEX points. We're not necessarily worried about running for INEX points. So when we go to Dillon, the guys that are kind of in the same boat as us, that aren't running for INEX points and stuff like that, that's the ones that show up over there. Which I don't know. To me, it can be a lot more fun. It really can.
It is. It's more side by side racing to me. Sometimes we go to Florence and they get kids in there that just don't know how to race at all, at all. And they just go down the corner and they think the whole track is theirs, and it doesn't matter where you are in that position. It's all about them.
That's right.
And I reckon that's how racing maybe has gotten greedier as time went on. But right now, I'm about as frustrated as I could be, with Florence. We plan on still racing. For a couple of weeks here anyway, I think we're planning on still racing. We plan on running the 30th, and if I understand right, he's supposed to have a race on the Wednesday and a Friday, right? Same week.
I have. That's what's on the schedule. So I'm assuming so.
I think all the Chargers and street stocks and trucks and stuff race Saturday, but
Are they going to race Saturday?
But the late models and the bandos
The late model and
the legends are on Wednesday.
Okay, so it's just kind of
Wednesday.
a scaled
there's
back
not
Saturday
nothing
night.
else Saturday?
No, we won't be running that Saturday. What Connor says.
Okay.
That'll
be fine.
I'll make
That's
sure.
fine.
I don't think so. I'm
Well, after that
95%
race,
sure.
From my point of view, after that race, I'm not sure when we will come back to there. Now, I can't speak for. I mean, I could be a butthole, I reckon, and just say, look, all my cars, this is where we're going to race, and if you don't like it, then you don't drive. But I don't care where y'all race and stuff at it. I mean, I want the cars to run. I mean, they don't do no good sitting in the shop and stuff. I want to get out there running. Y'all do a great job of not wrecking them and as best you can, and until Connor gets a little fool and runs everybody up against the wall and stuff on it. And that was a joke and stuff. But Connor's a smooth dude. I'm gonna give him credit. I told his daddy a long time ago that he held him as a baby and kept turning and said, "Be smooth, son. Be smooth." 'Cause he had to do something to be as easy as he is on a car. But anyway, I don't know if we just don't race. I don't think we're going to race back at Florence after the 30th race and stuff on it. I don't think we're going to go back there until we can get some clarity about how tires are going to get moved around. Because it's just frustrating to go there and run the 10th. I mean, I'm not trying. I mean, I want to win the race and I want to run up front. I want to do all I can to be up there. But when you don't have equal footing and stuff on it, I want my setup to work against your setup and my driving ability to work against your driving ability.
That's right.
And me and you run side by side for 50 laps. It felt like out there. And me and Connors run side by side for 50 laps and stuff at different times and stuff. At Dillon and Florence and stuff on it. So I think my ability to drive a car and y'all's ability to drive a car is just as good as anybody's and stuff. We just got to get. And when somebody beats me on equal footing, it makes me very focused and to make my setup even better and better and better. It makes me strive for things. But I don't even know how to strive for things now because tires are just so crappy and they wait. So if I could buy a set of tires every week, then I can understand exactly where my setup is going, right?
That's right.
But when you can't buy tires, like I say, I wrecked the car because I had brand new tires and it just dug in the corner and just went right into the wall. And I'm saying, what in the world just happened? So I can't. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but
you talking about us not wrecking cars. I'm just gonna say, Andy Welch told me Saturday night. He said you wrecked that car 12 times. You just never hit anything somehow and kept it straight.
Or 25 times. That was on the lap. So
exactly. He was just watching 1 and 2. He didn't see 3 and 4. I was doing the same thing down there.
I bet even worse.
Oh, it was rough. It was rough. But one of them things. All right, so Well, we got that out. So how was your trip?
Look, I'm flushed. I'm tired from that trip. I didn't realize that my mama turned 80 on August 3rd and stuff, and I promised her to take her out west to show her Beartooth and Yellowstone and all that stuff. So I rented a motorhome, and we went out there and rode around for 2 weeks and stuff on me and a cousin, Ricky Dennis, that went with us and stuff. But having an 80-year-old woman, I really thought she was more capable of helping herself than I was able to do. But man, it was a daunting task. I can tell you that. Beautiful sights. The site out there, just, I mean, if you've never been to Montana or Wyoming or Yellowstone or any of those places, it is breathtaking. You'll see. We saw 1,000 buffalo. I saw 500 antelope. We saw several deer, a couple bears out there. Seen not a moose, but a elk. Seen a couple elks out there and stuff. I didn't see any mooses out there, but I have seen mooses out there before. But man, it was just a great time, but just a long trip. We ran about 7,000 miles in 14 days, and I did probably 90% of the driving or 95% of the driving. So I'm tired.
But I bet it's a trip you wouldn't have traded for the world.
No, to have it out there with my mom and stuff, and that was just a great time.
That's great.
I love it. I'd do it again tomorrow if she wanted to go, but I would do it a little different. I'd have somebody to kind of help me along the way with that, because maybe to help drive or do something. But I do it a little different.
There you go. Well, good deal, man. All right, buddy. Well, we're going to wrap up this show here, but I appreciate you coming on and telling us your opinion.
Well, call me anytime, because I've got some opinions about things. I don't know if they always. I'm like the Jeff Burton of legend cars. I reckon, because I got an opinion. May not be, or maybe Kyle Petty. That may be. He's always got an opinion about something. He's always got an opinion about something. But I appreciate it, man. I appreciate kind of getting the voice out there, and I hope somebody hears this and just tries to help. That's all I'm after. Just try to help.
There you go. All right, Dennis. We appreciate it, buddy.
See you.
All right, buddy. Thank y'all.
Later.
Appreciate it. See you, Connor.
See you.
All right. Mr. Dennis Brown, owner of
There we go.
Action Services and
Action
Motorsports. Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
For sure.
So we're gonna take this headset off.
Yep.
Woo, my head. It's hot still. It's not as hot.
Not too bad in here right now.
Actually, it was worse last week in here. Ooh, it was rough.
Yeah.
But anyway, yep. Issue we've been dealing with for a couple years now. Hadn't got any better for us. We pick around with Connor but it's not a joke. Connor's dad, Jamie, I think it was last year, the first Darlington race last year. I remember because I drove the 50 car. It started raining on us.
Oh.
But the Baldwin, Tommy Baldwin and his boys were down there racing. Your dad told me he picked up 2 tires off the ground that they were throwing away.
Yeah. Me and John Lane, they were sitting by the trash can.
And
we ran on those for
y'all mounted them up, and you won races on those tires.
Yeah.
So that's our issue.
Yeah.
Is they're throwing away tires that we need that are good tires. And yes, Pete, I was about to mention that everybody needs to lift Tommy Baldwin up in prayer. He announced yesterday, I think it was, or Sunday. Sunday, that he has been diagnosed with cancer. He didn't specify what kind. Said it is treatable. Thank God. So everybody be thinking of Tommy Baldwin and lifting him up in prayer, because he definitely needs it. Definitely needs it. So anyway. So you got any comments?
I mean, I agree. It's crazy to think how many legend cars there are in the world, and you just. And
I know that's an issue.
I hate to see tires ruin another series. And I don't think it's showing yet, but I think it will. I mean, it is starting to.
It's getting there.
And I don't think you should, because if I could, we wouldn't buy 4 a week. You know, they're crazy.
No.
They're crazy expensive for one, which is another problem. But if I like to be able to buy 2 every three or 4 races.
The last time I heard somebody paying for legend car tires, and this is the problem with them, because we can't ever get them. If you do get them, typically can't get them directly from Inex. You got to go through a different supplier. But the last time I heard somebody talking about tires, they were paying over $700 a set, which, don't get me wrong, I know we're all racing, but a set of F45s, if you buy a whole set of them, y'all bought a set first year or something, didn't you?
We bought 2 at a time.
Oh, you
So
bought
I
2 at a
guess
time?
I ended up buying 4 in a weekend.
Okay,
But
so it's still, I don't know. I mean, they're way too close in price for what they are, is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
They are way too close in price. That big old tire compared to that little teeny Legend tire. Yeah. It's I don't know. It's an issue, and I don't think that's the only issue right now. Personally, I think that's one of the biggest issues. I think all the motor changes is another issue.
I think it's an issue.
I think what motor builders are charging, what they want to charge to rebuild this 1250 I got back here, which is an obsolete motor. They still got parts for it. They want $4,500 to rebuild it, and I'm like, well, I can use FZ09 for $35. But then you gotta get all the wiring harness and everything around it.
I've got a FZ09 that's got a very high lap count on it, and to get it going through, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. The word, we say Inex. They literally made that to be kind of a abbreviation of inexpensive racing. And yes, we all know racing is not inexpensive. We all know that, but their prices since COVID, and that's been their reason they've used, whether it be true or not. That's been the reason that prices have tripled and quadrupled on some of these things. I done went into the shock deal. I don't know how many times. I think
we'll spare everybody.
I think that's a load of, you know what. So yeah, we'll spare. But anyway, guys, if you need parts for any other race car, head over to SRI Performance. They hook you up. Like I always say, guys, they are a Walmart for race cars. They got everything you need: nuts to bolts, abrasives. If you want to do some painting on it, you can sand it, get it ready, prep it to sand, get it, anything you need, performance parts. If you need those engine parts, buy them from SRI Performance. You need brake parts, SRI Performance, your stop. They are your one-stop shop for all things racing. Go online, look them up, www.sriperformance.com. Get on there, load up that cart, put in promo code CBONE, Tennessee is in
chicken,
BONE 10, and get yourself 10% off at time of checkout. Also, same deal over at Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, guys. They all the specialty materials that you'll ever need, just everything. I mean, from aluminums to steel to titanium to anything else you can think of. Any specialty item you can think of. If they don't have it already in stock, they have any sources worldwide that can supply it for you. So head over to Stock Car Steel and Aluminum and get everything you need for them now. All right. Well, we had some racing at the Glen.
Yep.
This past week. Get into that here. Saturday. Ty Gibbs was kind of out front at last. That's the kind of story from it. There was a couple of things that went on, but nothing.
He
really,
pretty much dominated.
Last restart, Ty Gibbs went in corner. I think I don't know. I ain't gonna say he was blocking necessarily. Sam Mayer come in and just put a nose in, used him up. I don't know. What'd you think about it? You think it was a dirty move, or you think it was?
Yeah, it was dirty about it. I mean, they kind of got history, but both. I feel like
they got plenty of history.
I feel like both of them would do it to the other one.
Oh yes,
that's Xfinity road course racing in a nutshell. No matter really any track, anywhere. That some reason they just lay all over each other.
Yeah. I was fixing to say, I think if Ty Gibbs would have been behind him, he would have did the exact same
It was kind
move.
of a cheap move because Ty led the whole race, and Sam came from 4 car lengths back and just sailed it off in there. But I mean, I guess it's better now with Ty being a Cup regular.
I think that was probably more of it than anything.
Like, I think Sam needed a win more than Ty did at that point.
Oh,
he just said, I don't care.
How was Sam Mayer all of a sudden won 2 road course races?
Survival.
Well, and that's what I was fixing to say, because that's not what he was known for.
Yeah.
Was his road course racing ability, and all of a sudden he's come up and won Road America and Watkins Glen now. That I wasn't expecting it.
Nope.
I don't know.
Weird.
It was for sure. All right. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. There was a Cup race. I don't know. And I was on the bandwagon. I'm not going to say I'm wrong. I was wrong yet. I'm not going to say everybody was wrong. I was on the bandwagon that they didn't need stage cautions also. But I guess we don't know for sure. But the only caution through in the entire race, again on a road course this week, was for Chase Elliott running out of fuel, which was weird.
Wow.
There was some pickup issues, they have said, that because they were supposed to still have 2 laps fuel left.
Yeah.
In their little reserve deal. But I don't know. I mean, there was nothing exciting about the racing. It was, I don't know.
Yeah. I wasn't here last week. I thought any road course wasn't terrible.
No. I didn't think it was bad. I just thought there was chances.
Just something about the Watkins Glen this way wasn't. I don't know. It just seemed it just kind of got spread out. I don't know what would fix it. It's like the car races too good. That's how you watch an IMSA race. That's pretty much you watch a sports car race. That's pretty much. I mean, there might be some, wrecks or whatever. But
do you think
when they got the bigger brakes and all, where they're not, as much part failure, not as much, not a bigger braking zone for mistakes. It's still driving it hard, no doubt. You watch them go through the bus stop. It's like they're killing it. But I don't know. And it's just.
I watched a slow-mo video of Michael McDowell coming through the bus stop. And this dude, I mean, they're all doing this, but I mean, this dude was insane. It's like he come over one hill, and it's like he knew how much that car was going to slide before it grabbed and went straight. That's what it looked like anyway. I mean, it's just a calculated slide, I guess you call it. But I kind of talked about it a little bit last week. I didn't necessarily think Indy was a bad race. I felt like there were times in Indy that the caution should have been thrown. Couple right there towards the end. Just because I'm like, they're literally wrecking on the track and you're not doing anything. And I mean, people are having to move out of the way. So that, whatever. But yeah, like you said, it was so spread out at Watkins Glen. Just, I don't know. There was nothing that excited me about it. The road courses were kind of on an upswing, over the past few years. They added road courses because they were doing so good. Well, they changed this new car.
Now you're stuck with 6 or 7 road courses.
Now you got a pile of road courses that like you just said, it's a IMSA style car. I mean, it's a V8 supercar style car almost. And the cars just drive too good, I think is what it is. The cars drive too good. Yes, you're still going to get the cream's still going to rise to the top, and the better drivers that are good on road courses are still going to be up front because they just know how to get that little bit more out of it. But the cars just drive too good.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
There's obviously just everybody. One person can be just incrementally better than the next, and it just kind of spreads out throughout the field. I guess.
I don't know. I don't see anything you can do to this car to fix it. I know the big mantra is more power. I don't think that's going to just up and solve it.
Well,
off the bat, I think it's just a product of the car.
You're right.
But I mean, I will say I think the car races great on ovals for the most part. At most tracks,
for the most part, except for short tracks.
Over a mile, I say.
Yeah, over a mile.
Are good.
Over a mile.
1.3 mile and a half, 2 miles are typically they're a lot better than they were.
I still think, and I think this could really come into play on short tracks, and road courses that I kind of Dale Jr. and them kind of touched on some stuff, and I'm kind of with them on it. Obviously, they're not going to go re-engineer wheels. They're not going to do anything like that. But I do believe on short tracks and road courses, you could up the horsepower and somehow take a tire that's similar to the rain tire, where there's less contact patch with rubber on them. That way, there is tire conservation in it. Right now, there's no tire conservation. Yeah. And that used to be a thing even on road courses. That, back in the day anyway, it wasn't so much even in the last car, but back in the day, there used to be, because you were throwing them cars around, you had to conserve tires. You would burn the back tires off of it. Well, now they're not worried about burning the back tires off of it. They're just driving as hard as they can. So I don't know. I feel like maybe there's something there they could do.
There's something.
Like I said, a little horsepower, a little tire, I think could solve or just make it more competitive. I think
it could be.
But then I look at it too, and I'm like, all right, the rest of the world. I hate to say this, but the rest of the world, other than America, and even a portion of America, a big portion of America, we talk about Chad McCumbee. Chad McCumbee is, he drives the Mustang, Mustangs, and he's does some Mazda stuff, and he's really good at it. And like you said, those cars, you don't see them getting out there and just wrecking and having a bunch of caution laps. Yeah. They're typically driving. It's just racing. Really, so are we, as NASCAR fans, are we just spoiled and accustomed to this type of racing, and all of a sudden we don't have this certain type of racing anymore? Is that our problem more than anything?
It can be part of it. I mean, really, it's what you like. If you like strategy and you like, I don't know, it doesn't look good to throw a late caution in the top 10 just going barely into turn one.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, just chaos.
It would have happened in the Cup race.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
especially if Joey Logano was around.
Yeah,
he don't know how to use that brake pedal.
I mean, just the way how important it is to win. I think it's another product of just too much of a good thing can become a bad thing. I think 3 or 4 road courses would maybe help if they're not so focused on them, but 6 or 7. And especially back to back, it's just. I mean, every now and then it's good, but you don't. NASCAR is an oval sport. I mean, it's an oval dominated.
That's right. You're right.
And it worked the best when there was a couple road courses mixed in. I don't know. That's just the way. That's the way I see it. But
I don't disagree.
Hey, the race had an hour and 58 run time.
Shortest,
which is crazy.
Shortest race since I can't remember. It was like in the 60s.
Yeah. It was just
long time. Long time.
First time in a long time a race has been over before I went to church.
Yeah. I don't know.
At least
I think their stuff needs to be fixed, but is there anything that needs to be fixed? Is this what the new fan wants? I don't know. I don't think so.
Almost wish you could have the old car for the road courses and short track, exactly, and the new car for the oval.
I personally wish they had like the 87 Monte Carlos and stuff out there for road courses personally. Just hauling it off in there and just rolling over in the corners. I don't know. Let's see. We got some comments here. Matthew Grantham. Buddy drive number 6 legend car. He said they might have Legends Bandos Wednesday and Friday.
That very well might be true. So there you go.
We might be racing a lot. I don't know.
That'd be a lot of races.
We'll see.
Especially if we end up at Darlington that weekend. That'll be
might be over there.
Race pack
we'll
week.
See. We'll have more racing than we want to have. No, that'd be fun. So, in saying that about all the Cup races, I think Connor almost got him out of win this
Did I?
week. You
I
did.
didn't think it was looking great for
You-
me. I
you only finished like.
I kind of had regretted that pick after a while, but hey, maybe it
I don't remember where you
out.
finished, but it was like. It was good enough to win.
Now I'll take it.
It was probably the biggest spread out. Now, in saying that, I had Michael McDowell.
Yeah,
That-
he's killed him.
Penalty, and then Motor went finally.
Did it?
Yeah.
I didn't see the very end of the race.
Yeah,
but
Motor went, and so he
I
was
hate that.
gone.
He was good though.
That's all it takes here this last half of the year. I was doing great first half of the year.
Oh, yeah.
This last half of the year, if I pick them, they do horrible. So, whatever. You won with
Busher, right?
Bush. Was it
Was last
Busher?
Yeah, Bush
Yep.
25.
You had Busher last week. So you won with him. Sterling finished in second with Alex Bowman, who did not have a good run either. But I finished third with, I think, last place, Michael McDowell. I think he got awarded last place for that. So, run over points real quick. That locked Sterling up for the points championship.
He won it. Wow.
For the regular season.
There you go.
We still got this one to go, but that locked him up with, as of right now, Sterling has 53 points. Connor has 46. I have 48.
Ooh, so
We're close.
yeah, we could
Not really going to matter because
we
Sterling's
could
just going to
tie.
be a race ahead of us.
We could
But
tie
we
for
could
second.
tie for second of the regular season. But Sterling's going to have he's going to get 3 bonus points going into the playoffs, and then we got to catch him.
Shootout.
We got to catch him from there.
There we go.
So, but anyway, so in saying that, we are going to Daytona this week. Last race of the regular season. I want to point out, a lot of people had Chase Elliott kind of tabbed to run good at Watkins Glen because he has in the past. He's won races there. That did not work out.
I didn't think he'd win. I never really thought he'd, just because I haven't seen a whole lot. I mean, they were fast, I guess, but there's so many people now that are
He was
pretty good at road course.
okay.
Yeah,
I mean, he was
I mean, I'd say that they
decent,
were
but he
fast
wasn't-
at Indy.
Yeah,
but-
yeah. Well, he wasn't the fastest.
Yeah,
He was decent, but he was. I think he started. He started like 5th,
yeah, 14th.
14th, come up 7th. I think it was.
It's just, I mean, it was hard. Nobody was that much faster than everybody
No.
else when they were cautions.
and then once they had the fuel issue,
it was over.
it was over because he was laps down at that point, and you're not going to make it up without cautions.
Yep.
So rolling into Daytona, that locked in Brad Keselowski and Kevin Harvick. Bubba Wallace is the only one sitting on the
It's going to take a
the
wreck.
bubble now.
Right.
I actually
I think he's
let me see it. I
30
saved a
points.
picture right here.
I think from what I kind of saw, it's going to take a wreck.
He is 32 points to the good.
But a wreck
So,
can happen.
A wreck can happen, but if anybody wins,
Yeah. I didn't
anybody
think about
else
that.
wins, anybody below him in points wins,
Bam.
he's out.
That's crazy. It's going to be wild.
And you look sitting right outside of it, you got Ty Gibbs, who I think could potentially be okay there.
Well, I mean, you can pick anybody.
That's why you
in the
really
field. I
can.
mean, like they could win.
You really can. But you got Ty Gibbs right below him, 32 points behind. Suarez, 43 points behind the cut line. Allmendinger, 72, 96. None of that really matters because it's not possible. I guess Ty Gibbs, it is possible
Yeah,
to.
if
If
he-
Bubba wrecks the first lap,
And he won 2 stages or something.
right,
Yeah.
right. That is possible. Not likely, though. But you can look at anybody else back through the field, even a Chase Elliott.
Yeah. Austin Dillon.
That is exactly who I was fixing to say. Austin
you-
Dillon.
you got.
That is not who I got because I'd already used him. So we'll go ahead and talk about that since we're talking about picks. I went with the other Austin Cindric, who is a Daytona 500 winner.
I had him on my sheet, kind of eyeing him, but they've had a rough year.
Terrible year.
Yeah.
Terrible year. Terrible year. But I'm down to very, very thin here. In saying that, Sterling took Austin Dillon.
Did he?
to win.
There you go.
So,
Well,
which it didn't matter for him.
Still, yeah.
He could have laid up,
Oh, he
but we
could've
couldn't. We couldn't have gave it. I mean, you know.
You got to run all the races. He's a
Run all the
charter.
races.
He's got a charter. He's got to run the races.
So I got Austin Cindric. Sterling's got Austin Dillon. Who you
I was
taking?
pretty happy when I looked at my sheet and saw that he was still available because I'm taking the current Daytona 500 winner, Ricky Stenhouse.
Ricky, you still got Ricky?
I don't know how I do, but yeah.
He had a great run there at the 500.
Oh yeah.
And
I mean,
has not. He's been.
But in his past, he's won several.
Oh yeah. He is a great super speedway racer. But they've had a rough year after
Oh yeah,
Daytona.
they haven't had much show after that.
It's like he's been there a few weeks, but it does not have to finish his show for it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of them deals. So, recap. I got Austin Cindric, Sterling taking Austin Dillon, Connor's taking Ricky Stenhouse. Ricky Spinouts.
For a while.
Yeah.
That was
Sure. All right. So going into last race of the regular season for playoffs, what you think about Daytona there now? It's that's a
off
I don't
traditional day.
Do you like? Yeah, that's what I was fixing to say.
I think
Do you one the traditional day? Two, do you like it being a super speedway race to determine? And that's what you're going to get pretty much every year. You're probably going to determine one or two spots at most from being a super speedway race. You know, getting in on that last race. That's what they're always racing for. It's one spot, typically. Okay. So, do you like that?
I don't love it, but I think it's going to be in the season anyway. So, I mean, if you got to move it off its date, I guess that would at least give it some importance. You know, you don't want to run Daytona in the middle of August with no real implications, you know. So I think if you got to move it, it's not a bad thing.
That's my thing.
I don't love it, but I feel like if you're on the cut line by Daytona, it's up to you now.
I didn't understand it though because they were talking about July 4th's always so hot. I'm like, you've got it in August now.
It is.
It's not any cooler. I promise. I wish it was back on its July 4th.
I think the city pretty much told them, you know,
yeah.
we could fill up our hotels July 4th and we can fill up on a NASCAR race. But we don't want to
both
lose money doing.
Yeah.
Right.
I get that.
I mean, yeah, if I was on the city council, I'd probably, that'd probably be a smart move. So
I get that.
We'll see.
All right, if you're Bubba Wallace going into this race, apparently you were. We said last week, is he team no Bubba? Because
I don't know. I just
you never pick him, did you?
No.
If you're Bubba Wallace going in this race, how do you race it?
That's hard. I mean, you do have a points cushion to where it's going to be, if you finish the race in the top 25, you're probably going to lock yourself in. But then again, if I see Austin Dillon, Austin Cindric, and Harrison Burton, whoever are up there trying to win the race, you might have to just test your luck and just go for it.
If it's me, we're having a big meeting early. Well, we're probably having it during this week. If I'm Bubba Wallace, I am big time Team Toyota.
Yeah.
Because look at it, every other.
Oh, they're the smallest.
I think every other Toyota is in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he either needs them to push him, or he needs to push it. Because as long as any of them win, he's okay. But they need to be up front. So that I would be like, guys, if I were Toyota in general,
we gotta
work together. We got to protect him. We got to, and that's easier said than done. We all know. But it's worked for him in the past. It has worked but Daytona, I swear over the last, 7-8 years, it seems like, you come back, you used to never come back with it. There might be a big one, okay, and that was over, and the rest of the time they're riding around, racing, whatever. Now, there's more cautions than anywhere. You come back with more tore-up cars than you get at Bristol.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't man, I don't know. I don't know what you do. I don't know what you
You can't.
do. You ride around for the
feel
first
like
half of the race?
You can. I don't even know if you can really plan for it. To be honest, I mean, you got to see how's the race going. Is everybody in a riding mode, or if everybody's going, you can't just.
I personally say
sit there
that
and eat on your points.
right, you're right. Well, that's the thing, is he needs to score
Yeah, if you score
good points.
if you finish
first.
7th and 4th, that's
Yes,
around 10 extra points you're going to have, and that could.
And he needs
if
that.
you wreck out, that could be the
but
difference
that puts you right in the hornet's nest
Yeah.
running in those positions.
for sure. Exciting for us, nothing else. That's gonna be-
exactly.
You got some, everybody below the cut line's got nothing to lose, so they're not going
Nothing.
to cut you
Nothing.
any slack.
Well, the thing is everybody below Bubba has nothing to lose either.
That's what I'm saying.
Uh,
It's just
man, that's whew. I mean, whew. I'd hate to be man. I don't know if I'd be able to sleep.
it'd be, or else you just have to accept it and say whatever happens happens.
Oh, that's all you can do.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. I mean, that's the point Chase Elliott has said that he's in. He said you can't be perfect. And in all honesty, you look at people are kind of dogging Chase Elliott. Oh, they ain't got what they had. Chase Elliott hadn't been terrible.
No.
He's not been good. He's not been
It's
typical.
been great, but it's not.
But look how many races Chase Elliott missed.
Oh yeah,
And this dude still made it back to almost being able to get in on points.
yeah. He hasn't had a terrible season.
I mean, obviously he can't get in on points now, but he made it back almost to being able to get into points or get into playoffs without a win. That's pretty daggone impressive.
Oh yeah.
That's I don't know, something else.
All right.
Well, like to thank, as always, guys, our friends over at Dixie Made. Dixie Made, right out here by the Florence Flea Market. Y'all come on down, especially when you come to Darlington here in a couple weeks. Come on down. Check out Dixie Made. They got all the styles and latest styles and fashions that you would like for your Southern apparel. Southern Fried Cotton, Drake, just to name a few of the brands, as we always do. Guys, head over to Dixie Made. Tell them we sent you. We greatly appreciate that. So y'all head over there, check them out. Also, Rev Max Racing apparel. You need a suit, you need gloves, you need your racing apparel, guys. Head over to Rev Max. Some of the best looking stuff on the market. All custom, custom made, custom designed. So head over to Rev Max Racing Apparel. Pick yourself up a suit. Order you one. Takes a little while to get it because it's all custom, like I said. So, so order you one. Also, MPM, McAllister Precision Marketing. Our friend Tanya over there. Head over to MPM, marketwithmpm.com. If you are, especially if new, young in sport, and realize this is the life for you, and you really want to pursue this career path, you've got to have a marketing professional behind you, someone knows how to market digitally, on social media, all those above. And Tanya is your person to do that. Marketwithmpm.com. Go tell me sent you over there. All right, what else we got?
Well, my second favorite thing to watch coming back this week, college football will be on.
College football
Coming Thursday, and South Carolina, North Carolina. College game day is going to be there, so I'm
That's right.
excited for that. And I mean, hey, if it's a week that where you have to be not racing, I'm glad it's this week because I'm really excited to see the Gamecocks play. I hope they don't let me down.
I think they got it. I think they can handle that one.
There's so many new pieces.
Oh,
I mean,
there
there's
is.
no telling if we're going to be good or bad. And our schedule is just
It's tough.
insane. But
SEC schedule, I don't care who you are, is always tough.
yeah, and we play Clemson, North Carolina as two of our out of conference teams. So
Yeah.
and those aren't guaranteed wins for sure.
We
So,
start off our SEC play with Georgia.
you play Georgia. We go to Georgia
Yeah.
at home against Mississippi State, and then to Tennessee.
Yeah.
all before
Nothing
October.
to it.
Yeah,
Nothing to
hey, it's either gonna be great or we're gonna be hating it. But I'm glad I'm ready for some college football.
Well, let me tell you what I'm going to be doing this Saturday. I got a wedding to DJ, and it's gonna be outside.
Oh, and I saw
And it's gonna be hot.
It's at 100 degrees right now.
Yeah.
Hope it's at 8 o'clock or something.
6. Weddings at 6.
Have to sail through it.
Yeah, I'm gonna sweat my tail off for a little while. Is what it is. I signed up for this. Oh, cool.
Gotta see it through.
Yeah, that's right. No racing around here this weekend.
Nope.
I do want to say real quick, Team SRI and Stock Car Steel driver Landon Huffman picked him up $30,000 at Tri-County this past Saturday night.
Yep.
We had it on the tablet sitting there at the racetrack.
Yeah,
watching.
I watched it at home. It was a good race.
That was
crazy.
That was a man. It was a good race, and I think the right person won the race.
Oh, yeah.
I think
it was the fastest. Yeah.
Yep. But I hate that it comes down. I hate when it comes down to like the fuel stuff. Like
it was just
it was so weird.
So it was really like a NASCAR fuel strategy.
It was,
because some of them stayed out to get track position, and it works the opposite. Caution laps hurt you with fuel.
Yep.
And
because they're not counted.
Yeah, they were dropping left to right,
and you can't predict that.
Yeah, it's not something you deal with every week. I don't feel like you know the exact fuel mileage of what you get.
There was a lot of cautions that race.
Yeah, I mean, it took the pass there. That new asphalt. They run the middle.
The track looked good though.
It looks like a nice. It's a good track.
I'd like to go run up there.
It looks cool. It looks fun. It looks fast.
It looks very fast.
Be cool.
It looked like it had multiple lanes too, because Landon worked the bottom.
Well, he was the first. He was the only one that could work the bottom, and that's how. That's
took him. Every time he would get right there at it, and all of a sudden the caution would come out. Butterbean stopped on track, and they didn't throw a caution for a minute, and he about wiped him out. Whoo, it was close. Close. So yeah, congratulations, Landon Huffman. That was a well-earned victory, long awaited. But dude, they have turned that team around this year.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That team, we were over at Florence Motor Speedway. That was back when Cale Gale was driving the car before he stepped out of it, and Landon Huffman got in, and they were in left field.
It was terrible.
It was awful. Cale running another. That might have been the last race in it.
Yeah.
He might have run two more, or a race or two, and just was horrible. He stepped out of it. Landon stepped in, and first I don't know, handful of races there, I was like, man, he's okay.
They got better.
And all of a sudden, it's like something clicked.
Yep.
And they've put it up in the top. In contention.
Oh yeah.
Since then, so congratulations to them. What else we got?
Not a whole lot.
We
said it all.
You ready? You got homework night? You know,
I finished most of it, but might have a little bit more.
What all classes you taking right now?
I'm taking anatomy, business math, consumer math, whatever you call it, computer applications, and then we're taking college political science, and I'll have a college English class that starts up in about a week.
College political science.
Yep. Some of those dual credit stuff.
Where are you taking that at?
That's through Tech.
That's through Tech.
I mean, it's online.
That's what I was just fixing to ask. It's online.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Cool. I didn't know if you were going over there.
Yeah. I mean, you could go over there and take other classes that aren't offered online, but yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
Well, good deal. All right. Well, we got anything else? I reckon that's it.
I guess so.
Reckon that's it. Anybody else got anything out there? Y'all got anything we'll talk about? No, we got to go. We ran long enough. I want to thank Matt Cox coming on, hanging out with us tonight. 2023 Florence Motor Speedway late model stock champion. He's locked that up already.
Oh, yeah.
Hadn't presented him with it yet, but he's locked it up. So congratulations to him. This past week's winner. He was... we appreciate him coming hang out with us. Also, Mr. Dennis Brown coming on, giving us his hot take on the World of Legend cars. We appreciate it. Appreciate it a ton. Anyway, guys, I reckon I reckon we're going to head out and let Connor go get ready for school tomorrow. And I'm going to go get ready for work, I reckon.
Sounds like a plan.
So we will be talking next week after Daytona.
We'll see you.